Good morning, beautiful people. This is Vanguard Live. Of course, this is where we'll discuss major news stories that are making headlines in Nigeria and across the world. Of course, it's a beautiful Friday here in the city of Lagos, southwest Nigeria. And of course, here on Vanguard Live, we are going to be taking you through stories that are making rounds in Nigeria and beyond. Of course, reviewing and doing analysis of all of this story, it's what we know how to do best here on Vanguard Live. Of course, we are going to be starting off with Vanguard newspaper. Of course, you know that's where you get all of your breaking news and of course interesting stories all around Nigeria. Of course, on the Vanguard today is actually talking about the Afenifere and the FG and Oni. Of course, you understand that there was a meeting between between President Buhari and the Southwest Monarch, and of course you should expect that there would be a fallout in all of that. And what really happened from that meeting was that there was a conclusion to deploy drones and CCTV all across the Southwest region to check the rising insecurity, especially from the herdsmen. And of course, that has met a lot of rebuff. Some groups in the Southwest have actually kicked against that, saying that that is not the best way to go. Of course, the lead on Vanguard today is Afenifere Agbekoya disagree with FG Oni, and that's coming with a rider. Drones, CCTVs have limitation. Of course, Agbekoya is saying that we will see how effective they are. YCE, that's Yoruba Council of Elders. Nigeria fast losing reputation. NIPR raises the alarm. Of course, the Afenifere and Agbekoya, they've actually disagreed with the federal government and the Oni of Ife, saying that the deployment of drones and CCTV in the southwest region of Nigeria is not the best way to check security. Speaking on behalf of the Afenifere group, the spokesperson of the Afenifere, that's Dr. Yinka Odumaki. Dr. Yinka Odumaki is saying that drones and CCTVs, do not arrest and prosecute criminals, that they are not seeing end to all of this issue of insecurity. And what he is saying is that if the federal government of Nigeria is so sincere about curbing insecurity in the southwest of this country, that southwest Nigeria, that they should prosecute and fish out these killer herdsmen and put an end to all of this. That of course drones and CCTV have limitations. They do not prosecute or arrest criminals, so to say. But in a swift reaction, the Yoruba Council of Elders are saying that that's a beautiful idea. They are throwing their weight behind the FG and Oni of Ife, saying that it's a really beautiful idea, that technology has a lot of things to do in checking insecurity, and they have said that the drones and CCTV would monitor the activities of these criminals, and of course with that they could track them down and then arrest and prosecute them. However, there's a twist to all of this, another angle rather to all of this, and this is coming from the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations. They are actually concerned about the image of the country abroad, and they are saying that this whole insecurity thing is giving Nigeria a bad reputation outside, and they are saying that Nigeria is losing its reputation. And of course, if you reason with what the NIPR is saying, you know that no nation, nobody would want to invest in a climate where there is insecurity, a climate of uncertainty, and all of those chaotic issues taking place around the country. And they are saying that they have raised the alarm, saying that the federal government should do something about the insecurity, because Nigeria is fast losing our reputation among the community of nation. Of course, a way to all the stories now, you can find that story on page 14 of the Vanguard. Okay, let's quickly go to all the stories above the nameplate of the Vanguard. 3 lives lost in 1 week as misery continues. You can find that story on page 40 of the Vanguard. Of course, that story is actually addressing the Apapa gridlock. Okay, it was just yesterday that one of these truck crushed a very young person to death, and as we speak right now, in the past 1 week, just this week, about 3 lives have actually been lost, owing to that misery on that road. Of course, all of that has defied the effort of the federal government in finding lasting solution to all of that, and it really seems as if there is no end in sight to all of this, misery. And of course, the federal government, just yesterday, I think it was yesterday, that the president is saying that the issue on Apapa Oshodi Expressway saddens him, and of course they are doing their bit to ensure that all of this is tackled. Okay, let's move to other stories now. Of course, this has been in the news, of course, for a time now. The issue of Edo Assembly and Obaseki. So here, APC PDP tango over Senate's order to Obaseki. That story is on page 12 of the Vanguard newspaper. Now, what the APC is saying is that the APC is speaking through the spokesperson, that's Mr. Isa Onilu. They are throwing their weight behind the Senate's order, saying that all the APC wants in all of this is that the proper thing should be done, that the rule of law should be followed, that there is nothing wrong in the governor of Edo State trying to do another proclamation in setting up the Edo Assembly. But Edwin Clark and other Bini elders have actually lampooned the Senate's decision, saying that it is not in the best interest of the Edo people. Of course, the PDP too has something to say, and the PDP stalwart who doesn't want his name in the print is saying that that is unconstitutional and it's total illegality, the pronouncement or the order given by the Senate, to the Edo State governor. They are saying that he is saying that he has not seen where a Senate will order a sitting governor, to carry out a particular instruction. So to get more on that story, you can check this page 12 of the Vanguard. You get that story there. Of course, away from that, let's quickly move to other stories now. House helps are human. They are not from another world. Because it's so sad, the way some people treat their house help. Of course, it has always been in the news too that some of these house help, if their activities are not checked, of course, they can wreak havoc in your home, but that does not mean that you treat them, you mete out inhumane treatments to them. And that is what is saying that house helps are human. They are not from another world. You can get that on page 22 of the Homemakers in Vanguard newspaper. If you're just joining us, this is Vanguard Live, and we've been discussing headlines that are making round in the Vanguard newspaper. Of course, you should share and like our page here on the Vanguard so that other people too can keep abreast of what is going on around them in Nigeria. Okay, let's move to other stories now. Of course, there's a picture on the front page of Vanguard, and this is an interesting picture. Made in Nigeria. There are anti-ambush protected vehicles that were made in Nigeria, and it's on parade yesterday. Let's quickly see what the caption is there. A lineup of mine-resistant anti-ambush protected vehicles manufactured in Nigeria in collaboration with a firm, Proforce Limited, on display yesterday ahead of an unveiling by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Gabriel Olunishakin, in Abuja. That's a brilliant one. If we can get all of this done and many others, I think that will help the industrialization move in Nigeria. It's a brilliant one, and kudos to whoever has such idea. Okay, let's move to other stories on the Vanguard. Shiites protest to go on till El Zaki is free, daughter vows. Okay, the issue of Shiites have been in the news in a couple of weeks, and the daughter is saying that no, the protest will go on until my father is free. You will recall that just few days ago, the group suspended their nationwide protest, and they are saying that they are heading to court. Of course, that was coming from the lead counsel of the group, and that's Mr. Femi Falano. He is currently in court now to challenge the prescription of the federal government, against they grew. But the daughter is saying that no, the protest will go on until his father is free. You can find that story on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper. Away to other stories now. Who's? Of course, that's talking about the Presidential Election Tribunal. Buhari closes the fence as APC fails to call any witness. That story is on page 8. Of course, the lead counsel of the president, of Mr. President, Mr. Wole Olanipekun, is saying here that, of course, they've studied the evidences, you know, both the soft copy, the hard copy, and the hardware, you know, presented by the PDP and Atiku, and they have decided that, okay, they are closing the case. But whatever that means, you can find that on page 8 of the Vanguard. Okay, to other stories now. Terror war. Army denies secret burial of 1,000 soldiers. That story is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper. Terror war. Army denies secret burial of 1,000 soldiers. Of course, the defense headquarters rather has actually denied any secret burial, any mass grave in the north, northeast theater of the ongoing insurgency war in the northeast. The DHQ is saying that, you know, there is no secret burial, that the purported cemetery talked about in the Wall Street Journal that actually claimed that there was a cemetery somewhere is actually a cemetery meant for, you know, the fallen heroes, and they say that that's on the Mailori barracks, Mailori barracks in the northeast Nigeria. They are saying that that burial ground, the cemetery, has been used over time, you know, for fallen heroes, and that there is nothing actually new about that cemetery. And they are saying that the way they treat fallen heroes, you know, they treat fallen heroes with respect, and that's part of the military's tradition, you know, ethos and culture. And they are saying that whoever has written the report on the Wall Street Journal, you know, is only trying to rubbish the effort so far by the Nigerian military, you know, against the insurgency. Terror war. Army denies secret burial of 1,000 soldiers. You can find that story on page 5 of the Vanguard. Again, if you are just joining us, this is Vanguard Live, and we've been reviewing, you know, and analyzing news stories that are making headlines in all of the dailies. You know, you can also visit our website www.vanguardngr, you know, to see all of these stories. Of course, you can get breaking news and, you know, latest stories that are making rounds in Nigeria on our website. Okay, let's quickly move to other stories now on the front page of the Vanguard. And here is a sad one. Of course, it's really a sad one, and it's saying that soldiers rape 300 level student of AAUA at checkpoint in Ondo State. That's a very sad one. That's really, really sad. If our soldiers cannot protect the civilian, it's so sad. Soldiers rape 300 level students of AAU at checkpoint in Ondo State. Now, does it mean that when you see soldiers at checkpoint as a female, does it mean that you have to be scared or you have to think twice? You know, you can get all of that in page 7 of the Vanguard newspaper. Of course, lastly on the Vanguard front page is Lagos Assembly drills Tunji Bello on Motosho, 6 others nominees. You recall that Governor Sanwo-Olu transmitted a list of 25 commissioners and special advisors to Lagos Assembly just earlier this week, and of course the screening is ongoing as we speak. And the story here is that Lagos Assembly drills Tunji Bello on Motosho, 6 others, you know, for you know, the portfolio they want to actually own. Now you can get that story on page 10 of the Vanguard. Of course, there is a funny one here, Mr. and Mrs. on the Vanguard, that will interest you. Mr. and Mrs. saying that, I think the Mr. is saying, anytime I will climb the highest mountain and swim the deepest ocean for you. Oh, that's interesting. And Mrs. is saying, deepest ocean, you, when flood from the heavy rainfall was sweeping away my Italian handbag and shoes, what did you do? Of course, if you want to get more on that, take a copy of the Vanguard and you can find all of that. Before we leave the front page of the Vanguard, again, it is very, very imperative of us to talk more about the 3 lives that we lose every week, on the Apapa Oshodi Expressway as a result of the miserable activities of these truckers on that road. It's so sad. It is so sad. It has defied all orders from the federal government to state government. Just some months back, I think the governor of Lagos State visited the site. Of course, Major dignitaries too have visited it, trying to provide solution to that menace there, and it has caused untold hardship to motorists, crippling businesses around there. Of course, but Vanguard investigation is revealing that some persons there are actually making a living in an unscrupulous way. So it's so sad. It's so sad. Of course, to get more on that, check page 40 of the Vanguard newspaper. Let's quickly move over to sports stories on the Vanguard and see what we have in Vanguard Sports today, Friday, the 2nd of August 2019. This is very, very interesting. I'm sure some of the Arsenal fans will be very interested in this news. Arsenal smash club transfer record, signed Pepe for £72 million. That's a whooping amount of money. Deals thrills him. Of course, that's the writer coming with that story. Of course, we hope that the guy can actually deliver for the Gunners. Of course, his record shows that he is one of the finest wingers we have in the world. And when a club like Arsenal is smashing the club record, they expect more from you, and we hope that he delivers on that. Okay, other story, CAF to meet over cash ruling on Champions League. That's really, really important, because it's really giving the CAF Champions League a very bad reputation, and I think that should be addressed. Okay, Leicester City and Iheanacho jersey number 14. That's a good one. I think this is coming on the heels of his lackluster performance in last season, and just like Alvaro Morata, he's also changing his jersey, and let's see how that pans out for him. But we wish Iheanacho all the best in Leicester City in this coming season. Of course, it's going to be, I think in 2 weeks' time, the season is going to kick start, and you can get a lot of updates here on Vanguard Sport. This is where we update you with latest sports stories, happening in the Premier League and other major leagues around the world. Okay, to other stories. Osimhen complete €15 million move to Lille. Okay, that's a good one for him. That's a good one for him. We wish Osimhen all the best there. There's a writer here who wants to emulate a Yama or them Wingate. Okay, we don't want you to emulate them. We want you to surpass their record in the French league. We wish you all the best here on Vanguard Live Sports, and we pray that you succeed there as well. Okay, to other story, Indomitable Lions will bounce back, say Njita. Well, it's good for them. Okay, to other stories, South Africa, Korea, Brazil, others scramble for 2023 FIFA Women's World Cup. That's a good one. That's a good one. Leicester City rejects Man United £80 million bid for Harry Maguire. Oh, that's a whole lot of money. Harry Maguire, one of the finest defenders you have in Premiership, and of course indeed in the world. He's a young champ, and he's been doing brilliantly well for club and country, and we hope that he continues with that. Leicester City rejects Man United £80 million bid for Harry Maguire. To get more on all of this story, take a copy of the Vanguard, flip through the back pages. Of course, you will find our sports stories there on the Vanguard. Okay, let's quickly move to other story. But before that, if you're just joining us, this is Vanguard Live, and of course, it's a beautiful Friday morning here in Lagos, Southwest Nigeria. And we are saying that, of course, we've been discussing, we've been analyzing major stories that headline newspapers across the Nigeria, reviewing the Vanguard newspaper first, followed by other papers. Okay, visit us also on our website www.vanguardngr.com to get more on all of this story as they happen. in Nigeria and across Nigeria. Okay, to other newspaper now, I will be going to The Guardian. Of course, The Guardian is also leading with Article 6 probe into alleged secret burial of 1,000 soldiers. Of course, we've said that before, that the defense headquarters, they've come out strongly to deny that there's any secret burial of any 1,000 soldiers, beg your pardon, that there is no secret burial of 1,000 soldiers, that all soldiers, all fallen heroes are treated with respect and dignity. Of course, that they have a culture of treating their heroes, with dignity, that there is no mass grave anywhere in the northeast theater of the ongoing, offensive against the insurgency. Okay, there is a rider here, says report shocking national emergency. That's coming from article. No eating graveyard in northeast, military insists. That's coming from the defense headquarters. Okay, other rider here says urge public to dismiss sacrilegious impression. Well, okay, you can find all of that story on the Guardian newspaper. Okay, to other story on the Guardian here saying Buhari APC satisfied with own evidence, closes defense prematurely. Okay, we said that before, that the lead counsel of the APC and of that of Buhari son, Mr. Olani Pekun SAN, is saying that they are satisfied, with their own evidence, after they have, verified the evidences provided by the PDP and article. Okay, so you can get that story on page 6 of the Guardian. Okay, let's quickly move to other stories on the Guardian. On the Guardian right now, they're saying that why we want peace in Libya assisted Zimbabwe. Okay, this is you can find that story on page 3 of the Guardian. Also on page 3, Osinbajo seeks resolution of outstanding issues between Nigeria, UK. I think that is necessary, and that's on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Also on the Guardian, Ogun women protest demand 50% representation in Abiodun's cabinet. Of course, that's a brilliant one. We've been preaching about equal representation from the women and other groups, in Nigeria. Ogun women protest demand 50% representation in Abiodun's cabinet. You can find that story on page 5 of the Guardian newspaper. ICPC recovers tractors worth 76.6 million from the South. Hospital equipment from Akpabio. You can get that story on page 7 of the Guardian. Okay, let's quickly move to other stories now. The Punch newspaper. We're moving on to the Punch, and the Punch is also leading with the secret burial of 1,000 soldiers. Okay, with a rider saying that military said my dead brother was fighting on battlefront. That's coming from a relative of one of the fallen hero. He's saying that he contacted the military about the whereabouts of his brother, and the military says he was fighting on the battlefront, unknown to him. Okay, fallen soldiers giving heroes burial, not in secret grave. This is coming from the DHQ. We said that before. Article furious demands commission of inquiry into allegation. Of course, you can get all of that stories on page 2 of the Punch newspaper. Okay, another stories on the Punch. Negotiation with mom's abductor have broken down. This is coming from Siasia. You recall that I think in the past week, Siasia mom was abducted. Siasia was a former Super Eagles coach and under 23 and he was saying he's saying now that negotiation with mom's abductor have broken down. I get that story on page 47 of the Punch newspaper. Soldiers allegedly rape Odo Varsity student at checkpoint. That story is on page 4 and 5 of the Punch. You can get that. Petrol Fund official to forfeit 24 account houses. What that means, get that on page 39 of the Punch newspaper. Okay, Senate sent clear cabinet nominees to the president, okay, Senate sends cleared cabinet nominees to the president. You can get that on page 7 of the Vanguard. Again, there's this recurrent issue of Lagos Ibadan road closure. It's now been shifted to Mondays, and soldiers have been deployed to ensure adherence to that order. All of that story is on page 23 of the Vanguard news of the Punch newspaper. Okay, let's quickly move on to other dailies, and we are here on the Nation newspaper. The Nation is leading with Buhari raises committee on ministers' portfolios. The rider focused on 29 cabinet members, 14 likely to retain their former seats. Okay, you can get that story on page 6 of the Nation newspaper. Above the nameplate of the Nation, here is there's a story here. We won't give up our crown, says Ibadan Obas. Okay, I think that issue is still lingering on between the Olubadan and the newly crowned Obas. They are saying that they won't give up their crown, says the Ibadan Obas. Okay, all right, you can get that story on page 10 of the Nation newspaper. Okay, let's quickly go to page 41 of the Nation with a story of Kwara civil servant, losing about 150 million property. How he got property worth 150 million. Of course, you can get that story on page 41 of the Nation. The civil servant losing a property worth 150 million naira. Okay, you know how you got that? You get that on page 41 of the Nation newspaper. Wait to all the story. 400 level UI student slums dies. Okay, what happens, how it happens, what led to that? You can get that on the page 10 of the Nation newspaper. Kogi deputy governor alleges threats to life. Okay, that's on page 41 also of the Nation. Osimhen gets Louis number 7 shirt. That's a brilliant one from him. NCC wants telcos against debt. Okay, that's not good for them. It's not good for us, the subscribers. All of that story is on page 11 of the Nation's newspaper. Okay, let's quickly move on to other dailies now, and I'm going to the Tribune. The Tribune is leading with uproar over secret burial of 1,000 soldiers report. Of course, there's an uproar over secret burial of 1,000 soldiers. Okay, that's a report by Wall Street Journal, and they are saying that the military secretly buried 1,000 soldiers in Mailori barracks in the eastern part of Nigeria. And the defense headquarters is saying that there is no secret graveyard in northeast. That's coming from the defense headquarters. They insisted that all fallen heroes were given the proper burial, and there are no secret burial of any 1,000 soldiers, according to the purported report by the Wall Street Journal. Okay, so you can get that story on page 2. Also, article demands Judicial Commission inquiry into all of that to get what that is all about. Okay, all right. There's a picture on the front page of Tribune, and that would interest you. Police recover 10,000 live cartridges from suspected criminals in Ibadan. You can get that story on page 30. 10,000 live cartridges from suspected criminals in Ibadan. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good job from the police. We hope they recover more and they, prosecute these people and ensure that they face justice, in all of this. Okay, in other stories now, my governor, after my life, Kogi deputy governor raises the alarm. Provide evidence or stop spurious allegation that's coming from the governor. My governor, after my life, Kogi deputy governor raises alarm. Okay, the writer here is saying that provide evidence or stop spurious allegation that's coming from Governor Yaya Bello. You can get that story on page 9 of the Nigerian Tribune. Edo Assembly crisis, NAS action causing anarchy. This is coming from Edwin Clark. Of course, Edwin Clark and other notable elders of the Niger Delta have actually criticized the order issued by the Senate to the governor of Edo State, saying that is total illegality and unconstitutional, issuing such order to the sitting governor of a state. Of course, to get more on that story, pick up the Nigerian Tribune and check page 8. You can get more of that. Of course, that will be all on the dailies. We'll be going to our social media now to see what exactly is trending. Of course, we'll be going to the to Twitter to see, you know, what is really trending today, Friday, Friday, 2nd August 2019. Okay, to Twitter now. Let's see. One of the trending issues is Friday motivation. Friday motivation, and Tall, Lucky Yours. Okay, Lucky Yours Tall is saying that Dangote did not forward Jesus, I love you, to 50 people before becoming a billionaire. Okay, that's very deep. Dangote did not forward Jesus, I love you, to 50 people before becoming a billionaire. Okay, so he's saying that you have to do more if you have to aspire the status of the likes of Dangote, Otedola, and you know, those guys out there. Okay, let's quickly move on to other ones here, and okay, let's see. Anant Imoroslimi is saying that set goals and not alarms, and waking up won't be that difficult. Okay, he's saying that set goals and not alarm. You know, waking up won't be that difficult. Of course, you can comment on our page on Vanguard Live and tell us what's your own Friday motivation. Of course, we'll be reading that out, okay, in no matter of time. Okay, let's look at Friday thoughts. Somebody saying here that okay, let's look what's happening here on Friday thoughts. Okay, let's see what we have here on Friday thought. Okay, Lucy Alex is saying that good morning, dear friends, on Twitter. Is saying that Friday, happy Friday, because Friday is about hanging out with friends and having fun. Okay, well, that's what somebody's saying, that Friday is all about, you know, hanging out with friends, you know, having fun. Of course, a lot of people have said that TGIF, thank God, is Friday, and you know, let's know what you are going to be doing with your own Friday. Okay, let's see what someone is saying. Priyakuma is saying that some people steal your happiness by shifting your focus on the negative. Yeah, okay, that's okay. Do not shift your focus on the negative. He's saying that don't let people, you know, steal your happiness by making sure that your focus is on the negative. Okay, let's quickly take your comment and see what you have been saying on our page. Let's see the response of some of our people here. Okay, we are still on Vanguard Live. If you're just joining us, it is today in the news, and we've been reviewing news as they happen in Nigeria. Okay, someone is saying that Innocent Kemka is saying that Buhari should fix this country urgently. I think Mr. President is doing his bit and he's been trying to ensure that, you know, the country is fixed, and you know, everything is going where he's been doing, you know, enough to ensure that Nigeria is in the right place among the Committee of Nations. Of course, we also need to do our bit as individual. You know, some people will say when Americans wake up, they say God bless America. Of course, if it is in the UK, they say God bless the Queen. When you wake up in the morning, what do you say to Nigeria? Of course, that is important as well. Okay, Nathan Galadima is saying, what a country, 1,000 soldiers will be buried without honoring them by the government. Okay, well, that's still an allegation, and the defense headquarters have actually come out strongly on that, saying that there is no secret burial anywhere in the northeast. Okay, Bayo Eyube is saying His Excellency okay, someone is actually making a shout out to the governor of Delta, is saying that you should hear the cry of Abraka people. Okay, if you are watching us from Delta, okay, Eyube is saying that the governor of Delta State should hear the cry of Abraka people. Okay, I'm sure you know what that means. Okay, let's move on to other one. Okay, there's someone who is saying here that Ike Maker is saying that there is a deceit in the land, you know, maybe probably because of, okay, all right, we won't be able to take that as that negates the broadcasting ethics. Okay, if you are just joining us again, my name is Bankole Idowu. It's today in the news, of course, here on Vanguard Live, and we've been doing all of this, reviewing all the dailies, talking about stories that are making headline, you know, across the country. Okay, I have not been doing this alone. I've been doing this with Chidozie Nwogu. Chidozie Nwogu has been brilliantly doing well behind the cameras. He is the associate producer of this program. Okay, well, before we call it a day, we would be expecting once again what are your Friday motivation. Of course, on Monday, Victor Ogunyika will be serving you with a fresh dose of today in the news and how it happens. Don't forget to share this page, like it, so that other people too can, you know, be kept abreast of what is really happening in Nigeria. Okay, that's how we are going to end it here on Vanguard Live in Today in the News. Of course, other programs are coming on. Do not forget, share and like our page. Thank you.